I'm not quite sure what to make of all the information I get, but this is a quick and easy way for me to get people to see what's happening. There's a lot of biblical shit going down. This is just the tip of the iceberg. I'm not even including the volcanoes and earthquakes in this video. First, you have to understand Archangel Azrael, better known as the Angel of Death. I refer to him as the Angel of Transition. He appeared to me in January 2023 when I was meditating in the sauna. He lifted me out of my bed by my hand in the vision. It was an amazing experience, and I could talk about it for an hour, but that's not what this is about. This is about the 248 connection that keeps showing me clues. We're in a major transition period, and from what I can tell, Trump is on the good side. I don't agree with everything, but God chose Trump to lead the way. As you can see by his campaign text numbers and all the digits they use in their memorabilia, 248 was his theme. Azrael is the archangel that, if you look him up, he's the only archangel that has the numbers on its symbol, 248. It's a 2 and an 8 and the symbol of Jupiter, which is a 2 and a 4. I coincidentally was born on Jupiter Drive. This video is really not about me, but I was also in a really bad car accident that was on 8/8/88. So I've been sort of running around in circles with 8s and 2s and 4s my entire life. In September, I was drawn to watch the sun, and I didn't know why at first, but on October 9th, 2024, there were 2 sunspots, 13848 and 13842. I told my dad the day before that I had a feeling something was going to happen, and later, after the solar flares hit, which was on the 9th of October, I realized later that 13848 was the same number as the executive order that stopped voter fraud in the election. The flares created a beautiful aurora for everyone in the United States to see, and earlier that year we had a solar eclipse on 4/8/2024 that crossed exactly in Texas where Kerrville floods just happened to be. So imagine my surprise when I saw that the solar eclipse hit prime totality at 4 minutes and 24 seconds. Part of the reason I'm putting this video out is to get Polny's attention. He's been creating amazing videos with his math and focusing on 248 and the number 88. He also mentions the Angel of Death, but hasn't put it together yet that the numbers with Trump and all the other pieces I'm showing you are important. Here's a video he made in April, the day the Pope died. He had been talking about it for months before that and said the head of the church would be struck down on April 21st. He was dead on, and the Pope died, and so did, Klaus Schwab stepped down from the World Economic Forum. Coincidentally, both were 88 years old. Here's the video from Bo.
Because no one can solve it. It's impossible to solve a simple equation. Because what it is the Trinity plus anything Satan throws at it plus man equals a 4-2-1 loop, which ends up at 1 God.
So what significance does 88 have?
So God's always
Schwab steps down at 88.
Yeah, so God's always in the details. So again, if you take 4-2-1, you multiply by 2, 248 years. Oh, Declaration of Independence. This was a secret that God never revealed. So thousands of years go by. People are like, hey, what is the biblical math? It's literally 200. It's 248 multiplied by 2. That's all it is. It's so simple. And from Declaration of Independence 2024, and so from 2020, what have I said in your podcast?
Right.
From the 4th of July 2024, because it's based on covenant, God's covenant. So what happened today with Pope Francis is the restoration of the covenant that's about to happen. So as we head into the 4th of July, so the 3rd of July this year ends the 248-year cycle and a new begins. So please remember the word, a new begins. I'm going to repeat that. A new begins, because now I'm going to answer your question, Nina. Okay. So number 888. Holy mackerel. Wait a second. So when you go study scriptures, you understand April 21 equals 7, or a 4-2-1 equals 7. Okay. So what does it say in the Bible? It says the number 8. So you ask what the number 8 basically represents new beginning, but the number 8 in days is seen as a continuation beyond the number 7. So it's a continuation beyond the number 7, which is right now. So this is like a starting point, which symbolizes rest and completion. So 7 represents rest and completion. It makes it a point of departure into a what? Into a new cycle. or order. July is here. As an intro, we've basically been saying over and over again since September, October of last year, the calculation indicated we are expected to see a birth or a rebirthing process of America begin on the 4th of July. And anybody who's know anything about childbirth, especially women out there, before a birthing process, before a birth, what do you get? The water
breaks.
So what a coincidence that this water that broke that Nino was just speaking about, again, he was right there, okay? We'll talk about the Guadalupe River, the whole thing. But the fact that he was there, all of this is happening, and we have spoken about this in September of last year. A birth is about to begin. We're going to talk about this, but key is that it happened. Like, this flooding could have happened any day. It could have happened last week, could have happened a month ago, okay? But no, it happened exactly. This is the key. It happened exactly the third nighttime into the fourth. Exactly.
And it happens when I'm so happy to be driving through it.
Regardless of which way it went, in other words, however it's there, all I know, if they made it, God knew they were going to make it.
Correct.
If God was involved in the equation, then God was. But regardless, it happened on a precise date. See, the wild part of this is the pieces, when you start putting them together, like, what the hell is going on here? Excuse me, what the heck is going on?
June 30th, 2025, and we are checking out the Gulf today. Take a look at this shockwave that covers every single Gulf state. Whatever this is, some sort of front, some sort of weird weather manipulation type thing going on, you can see the entire shockwave of this thing rolling up from the center of the Gulf, straight up to all states that touch that water. And as you get a little closer, near Texas and Louisiana, we start seeing our next red beams firing in all directions just as this front crosses that area.
This, if you were to put your tinfoil hat on, you could say that it's possible that this storm was generated and then it was forced to stay here for a very long time by creating a high pressure zone in all other directions so that it could not move out of the way. It had to eliminate its moisture staying still because it couldn't move here, couldn't move here, couldn't move here, couldn't go back. But then when these all let up, it started to dissipate.
Is anyone else hearing this sound? Is anyone else hearing this sound? So I opened the garage door and I hear the sound. I walked outside and I thought, what the hell, is that in my head? It was so loud. So when I pulled my phone out, I recorded this and I actually asked, does anybody else hear that? I walked around my entire yard, in the front yard and everything, and I couldn't hear echoes off of any of the buildings, off of the next door neighbor's house or anything, and it just was coming straight down to my head from the sky. I mean, it wasn't like an echo you would get off of, a siren or something, and you can kind of figure out where it's at. I screwed up because when I was done recording, I looked at my phone and I realized I only taped it for 8 seconds, and then I must have bumped it when I was walking around the front of my house. So that's why this video is so short when it's the sound, but it was there. There was no storm yet in the area. There was just clouds, as you can see in the video. I don't know exactly what this video proves, but I just felt like I wanted to put it out there because I keep running into all these different people online that see the different pieces and they're not putting it all together, including Brandon Biggs. He's awesome, but I'd love to talk to him and Bo in the same room, along with a bunch of people from the space weather community and all kinds of other people that are watching earthquakes and volcanoes right now. Well, that's all I got for now. There's a lot more to the story, but I will save that for another video.